Hey, yo, Juan Eperuski.
Yeah, straight out of Brooklyn.
Cipha, tell us what you know about special ed.
Flatbush?
Yeah,
You know Flatbush,
area.
Brooklyn, right?
Erasmus High School.
Yep, E-Hall in Tilden. I went to Tilden my last year.
Oh, you went to Tilden. So, okay, so how old were you? Was I Gotta Made your first record?
Yeah, first release.
Before your album, it was a single, right?
Did
Yes,
did it come out pre-profile?
No, it was on Profile.
So you got
beginning.
signed
Signed to Profile.
How did you get signed to Profile? Let's start there.
Well, Howie T had some fellas named True Blue Management, and they worked with Chubb Rock. Howie T had a whole little camp.
Yeah.
And they were around, so he asked me if I was interested in talking to them. So
Well, how did Howie T know of you? Like from the neighborhood, or?
Oh yeah, Howie T lived across the street from my cousins.
Oh.
We grew up knowing who he was and watching them. He had a whole crew, Howie T.
Like who was down with Howie
CD3.
T before you got down with him?
Little Sean, Chubb
Little
Rock.
Sean back then?
Yeah, Little
Because he
Sean.
went to jail. We know him after jail.
Yeah.
Right?
Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean Penn.
Well, now
out
he's
there.
Sean Penn. No, we remember him from Little Sean.
Little Sean, yeah.
I made love
Yeah.
Little Sean.
Yeah.
Classic.
That
So
was
he had
after
Lil
jail?
Sean.
That was after
Yeah, that was
jail.
after jail.
Okay.
And he was working with Howie. Then he had UTFO.
UTFO.
He had Chubb Rock. He had the real.
All this was before you. You would see
Yeah.
these people around and stuff.
Yeah, the real Roxanne.
Right.
Whistle.
Whistle, yeah.
Yeah, so that was him? I didn't know that was
Whistle
Howie
and
T.
UTFO were like,
They were down with each other, yeah.
Yeah.
we were all kind of down with each other. That's what it was like.
Kind of an under-discussed area of hip-hop is the Howie T area.
Yeah, well, look, Howie T
Under-discussed.
wasn't out there really. Like, I don't even know what Howie T
Howie's
looks
a
like.
private
Me neither.
person. He's really private. He's like.
Was he in
the
any
music.
videos?
He probably was in a real Roxanne video or something, but he stopped doing the videos and he stopped being in the forefront.
Right.
He was just a shot. He's like my DJ Action. He was always kind of staying away from the pictures. He
Right.
never really wanted to be out front.
Right. I understand that.
Ed didn't have that problem.
But what I heard about Howie T, I don't know why I know this. Was he a drummer?
Was he a drummer? I don't know if
I heard
would say
Howie T
drummer.
was ambidextrous, where he could use both
Really?
hands.
Both hands
And
to
he
drum?
would. The reason, like a lot of his beats, the programming was like it's nerd shit, right?
Yeah, nerdy facts.
He was ambidextrous, so like a lot of his beats, they were like some producers are one hand heavy, so
Right.
you could kind of tell their style. Cause like Pete Rock, you could hear him hit the kick and then the snare, so it's like that. His shit was like, if you listen to Howie T
Everything
beats,
thumps.
it sounded like a somebody playing the drums, cause he had both his hands. This is some nerd shit. Sorry.
No, that's what it's supposed to
I
be.
went too.
That's what it's supposed to be. So you didn't know that. You don't know if Howie T was actually a musician.
Was Howie T?
Yeah, y'all know more about Howie than me, apparently.
Is he rich? Did Howie get paid? Did he get paid well off of it all?
Well, Howie did a lot of successful projects. Even after us, he did a lot of R&B.
So he moved on and made money in music
Yeah,
after.
he's done a lot of catalog stuff in the commercials that you see.
Oh really?
You know.
Was he West Indian?
Yeah, Howie's also from England, but his family's Jamaican. as
Jamaican.
well.
Okay.
Jamaica.
So this is what, Flatbush area?
Yeah, Flatbush, bro.
Everybody was Chubb Rock from there too?
Yep.
Is Chubb Rock West Indian?
Yeah, Chubb Rock is Howie T's cousin. First
Oh, look
cousin.
at
Yeah,
this.
They're directly related.
And you're how old at this point?
Me?
Yeah. Then.
Well, no,
then.
when you-
Oh, then. Okay.
Now we come on.
15.
15.
When you first met.
Yeah, when I first I met them because when I was little because my cousins lived across the
Oh,
street.
so you would always see
But
them.
I had to approach him as an artist and say, "Look, I'm ready for this line of work."
Right.
So that was when I was 15.
And what was your
So,
name then?
Special Ed.
It was always special ed.
Yeah, well, actually, one of my boys in around the neighborhood named Eric, E-Dot, we call him E-Dot. He came up with the name one day because I had a.
Because you were were you in a class with like less students?
Yeah. Did you take a short, weird buzz?
Actually, I was in class with no students.
Oh, okay.
Because of my, I used to go to school and just do what I wanted to do.
Mm.
So
You were running
pretty
around.
much-
Running around
yeah,
the
a little
hallways.
something.
So wait, did you drop out?
Nah, I didn't drop out. I went to Tilden. I got escorted out.
You escorted
Oh,
out.
okay.
No,
And then when you got escorted out,
I went. They put
But-
me into another school, and then
But you had a record out when you were in high school?
Yeah.
You had I Got It Made out when you went to Tilden?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I did.
That's
I did the
crazy.
video in front of Tilden, and I got.
where else would you do it?
Yeah, I wanted to do it in front of Erasmus.
Wait,
but they
where's
didn't like-
Tilden?
They didn't like the look, the aesthetic.
Tilden is in East New York?
No, Tilden is still in Flatbush. It's on like off of King's Highway or something like that.
Right, but it's a little bit out of Flat, but going towards out of Flatbush.
Going towards, it's between Flatbush and Brownsville.
Yeah, okay.
And-
Because remember, because remember Winter Ramos was on, and she's from East New York, and she was like, "Oh, he did his video in my neighborhood," but I was like, well, "He's from Flatbush." But if you did the video in front of Tilden, I could see why she would think that.
Well,
gotcha.
she would think that because it's not that far, but it's not East New York. It's
Right.
not Brownsville. It's still Flatbush.
She also may get confused because as a Puerto Rican chick who grew up in the era she did, she knew at least 17 to 20 women who special ed slate.
Right.
You had a Kane vibe in the sense of ladies love you and dudes thought you were cool.
Okay, well, you got to take off the sort of part.
Because
That's
100%
what it was.
That's what
that's
it
what
was.
life was.
That's
All
what
the
it is.
ladies loved special ed. We were like, ooh, he's so cute. Ooh.
Yeah, it was different for me because I was 6 at the time. But for you who was actually trying to date him, it was a You know what? Not today.
Yeah, not today.
Ain't nobody got time
Today's
for me.
not the day.
So was it like that before the music, or
Oh, come on, man.
that was just you?
Yeah, this is nothing changed. I,
Come on.
you know, it
Same
wasn't no-
before, same after, same in the
More
middle.
after.
Yeah, more.
More after. So you got a hit record when you're what, 16, 17?
Yeah, 16.
That's
Yo,
crazy.
you must have been. Did you become a little asshole
Yeah,
at some
he had
point?
to be.
You had to become
Yeah,
a little
some
asshole.
You're an asshole.
At some point, I
Had
mean, at some point we have to be, because if not, then you're gonna be preyed upon, victimized, taken advantage of. And I'm from a place where they're just not gonna do that to me.
So you think that part of the survival is even having that period of being an asshole?
Oh, you have to. Like I said, like people don't understand anything else sometimes. So you have to. Do it where it's applicable. Be an asshole where applicable.
Right, that well said.
Not all the time.
Right.
Not
Okay.
to everyone.
So you dropped this record. Like, were you doing shows when I got it made? Like,
Hell yeah. I
getting in
was doing
clubs
shows
at 16
everywhere,
years old.
16, drinking.
Were you doing shows
Lick it
with
up.
Chubb Rock and
Boom,
other
boom,
people
boom.
down?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was doing shows with Chubbs. My first tours I did was the Public Enemy tour and the LL Cool J tour.
Wow.
At what, 16?
yeah. I think it was the
With really
Jinglin'
just that
Baby.
record, or was when the album was already out? When
No,
Youngest
with
in Charge
just
was
the
out?
Single.
Just
When
the single.
drop, I started going on tour.
That's crazy.
and
But what was
then
it like
the album,
performing with somebody like LL Cool J, who, back then was one of like the best performers live?
Yeah, for me, it was a great experience because they showed me about, showmanship and stage presence
Right.
and performance, and kind of gave me a little something to gauge myself at, and it helped me develop my craft and my stage show. Public Enemy as well, they have an awesome show.
Yeah.
Just I'm not really, I don't dance, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that shit. Like, you won't see no footage of me dancing nowhere, unless y'all fucking spying on me. But, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
conceivable.
From
Yeah, I
the
saw you dancing
balcony.
last night.
From the balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are different. Well, I don't do much dancing, but I like the way, a stage show can come together visually.
Right.
Even because Public Enemy didn't really dance, but the way the S1
Yeah, they had
Walk
they had
around.
some choreography.
The
It wasn't
formation.
dancing,
Flavor
yeah.
Flav did the dancing.
Yeah.
If you call
yeah.
that dancing, yes, he did something.
He had his little.
He did his little. Do it. Hey, Fox, can you give us the?
No, not today.
If we played it, I'll tell you right now. If someone came in playing Fight the Power, she'd naturally bust
yeah,
into
she'd
the
be,
dance.
yeah.
No, but from the Spike Lee joint. Remember
That's
when she was
called-
that's
breaking it
Fight the
down?
Power. It's hard to follow along.
I know.
Okay.
So, all right, so you go on tour, you do high school. Then the album comes out when?
I don't remember. That was 20.
But I'm saying how, like, no, I'm saying like how long after the single? Like,
That's a couple months.
okay, so the album was pretty much ready when you put out I Got It Made. Like,
Oh, the album was done when I
Oh.
put out I Got It Made. The album was done a year before I put out I Got It Made.
oh shit.
How fast did I Got It Made become a hit from being something that just like Red and Chuck were playing, like becoming an actual hit?
I think instantaneous.
I think it had to be
I
instant.
think it just happened. Like,
had to
boom.
be. That song is just like
When it dropped.
Is that one? Would you guys say that's in the top 5 most recitable first lines in the history of rap? I'm your idol, the highest title. Like that part is.
I'd be biased. I would just say yes.
I like where
There's
you're.
a Jay just used one of your lines.
Yeah.
Jay,
Shout out
or
to
he
Jay-Z,
kind of
man.
flipped it a little, but
I could respect.
What was it, in Suit and Tie?
I respect that. No, it was the Kendrick Lamar remix.
the Kendrick Lamar remix, right?
Little
What'd he
Kim
say?
flipped that line too.
Who?
Little Kim.
Yeah, a lot of people.
What's the
did.
line again? What did
The
Jay say?
idol, the highest title, numero uno.
That's the line he used,
Yeah.
but then he added an extra word
Yeah.
and over a slow beat. Jay, that line didn't fit 100%. You should have called Ed.
Wait, what is he said a version of that on the Kendrick remix? Idol title.
Yeah, he said that line. I mean,
He said it straight, word for word.
yeah. I mean,
You get paid
it
for
is
that?
what it is. Nah, man, that's it. This is hip hop. I respect him for just doing that because, you know, he shouted me out on the Alicia Keys single, the New York single.
What did he say again?
He said, you know, I got to plug Special Ed. I got it made.
Oh, damn, I forgot.
Yeah, so it's like I respect.
So you gonna let him
respect
live?
him for doing. No, I'm saying I respect him for even mentioning me again. Like he didn't have to do that. You ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying you, from where Jay comes from, and you hear all the Jay stories, he had to be a Special Ed fan. Like,
oh well, Jay
from
was
Brooklyn.
around. I know Jay from coming up in the industry and all the parties and. You know, some of my parties as well. Like I've been seeing them all, you know, all
along. Right?
So we've always been cordial. You know, we cool. So
because that's a good shout out because Big destroyed Kwame to another level
For a long time.
when he said
Took Kwame a minute to recover from that.
Yo, because Kwame, my boy was really cool with him, and I used to go to the studio with him, and he was like, "Yo, Big destroyed my career, where I had to go be a hermit and learn how to come back." Like
that's my dude, though. Yeah, you're
he did it.
absolutely
Came
he's
on
the
back.
coolest dude in the world.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just got slaughtered for no reason,
Random.
for a throwaway
Well,
line.
it was it's a
What did
line.
he say?
It
Fill
was-
me in. What happened?
What
He says
on the
you don't know
fucking polka
famous?
dots? Your styles played out like Kwame and the
Oh,
fucking
okay,
polka
okay,
dots.
okay.
Yeah, you didn't get that line. You got a really good one.
Yeah, the opposite of that.
You said, yeah. What is the line? What is the line? I got a shout out to Special Ed. I got it made. What is it?
Yeah, that's one of them.
I would have been you're a single man, right?
Yeah,
I would have been fucking off of that line. What? Jay shouted you out on the #1 song right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're meeting 23-year-olds. No disrespect. They may not know Special Ed, but guess
Right,
they do
you're
know.
right.
The biggest dude of all time giving you props. Not just being like, he referenced your line. No, he said your name. You could have children off of that line.
God.
I got a fuzzy, unfocused picture with me and Jay, and I get mad pussy off that. You know
no
what I'm
doubt. No doubt.
And it's fuzzy. You can't even fully tell us him.
Cipha has a shout out on the back of one of Flex's records where he shouted out all the DJs' names just so you could scratch it. And he's living off of that. Cipha Sounds. That's it. Don't get gas.
Pussy.
That's it. Leads right to pussy. All roads.
That'd be nice. All right, so look, so the album comes out. First album is incredible. You got Mission on there. You got Ready to Attack.
What would you say is in your eyes,
Magnificent.
is Magnificent the second biggest record, or is Mission?
Oh yeah, well that would depend on the listener, but I think maybe the Magnificent just due to what's going on now, the reaction. You got people redoing that. Jill Scott just did it over.
Oh, really?
Rick Ross just did it over.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, the Mission is because it's a little up-tempo, and a lot of hip-hop ain't that fast nowadays.
Well, so is Magnificent though.
No, Magnificent's not.
What's Magnificent BPM?
It's a little bit,
96 maybe, something like that.
You're supposed to know exactly.
I know, I don't know
But
exactly.
the Mission is a story too. I think.
Yeah, the Mission's
you can't really change
and
up
it's
a story,
the
but
Mission
you can
Impossible
change
beat.
up, some lyrics. So
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on with that. But yeah, the Mission was a big record too.
That video, all those used to be on Video Music Box like
Oh yeah, you lived, man.
every day, man.
I tried.
You had to be an asshole walking around Brooklyn.
Were
like,
those videos cracking?
Well,
Young? Handsome, the ladies loved him. Pops up in Juice. Even
Malcolm
in Juice.
Jamal Warner's all up in the Magnificent video. Like he
shot
directed it, right?
Yeah, he directed the video.
I
He
know he
directed
directed
Come
it.
On, Let's Move It too.
Oh, really? Did
Yeah.
both?
Yep.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I forgot about Come On, Let's Move.
Oh, that's the.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my shit.
Forgot about that joint.
Wait, so you have 5 videos off of one album?
That wasn't the same album. That was the Legal album.
Come On, Move It was on
you're
Legal.
Right, you're right, you're right.
It was the first single off Legal?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
confusing
know if it was the
albums
first.
now.
Y'all confusing me. Shit.
No. First album is
Shit
in
just
the front of the
happened.
graffiti.
Shit happened. Okay.
Yes.
The first album has the graffiti on the wall in the background.
Yeah, that was Youngest.
Youngest
in
The
in
Charge.
second
Charge.
one is like looks like
The-
a.
the
It's just
fucked up
it's just
one,
a
yeah.
white square with his face.
Right.
in
That's
it.
That's the one and only time I will ever let them give
Tell
me
you
a
what to do?
stylist.
Yeah.
They got me a little stylist.
For
Yeah,
Legal?
you had on
Yeah.
some.
Playing
You had on
dress
some
up and
Theo
shit.
Huxtable.
No, the
Albie
stylist
Shaw
did
clothes
that.
a little bit.
I protested. I told them I didn't want that album cover. I fought against them for the album cover, and they still used it.
Probably girls loved it though.
What was it? A clean, preppy look?
You say no, the
Yeah,
one with the
little
curly
seen
hair
that
and the
jacket
jacket and a
shades
yellow shirt or
posing on the
something.
back, and
Oh, yeah.
they was trying to have fun at the session. You know?
I forgot it. I'm thinking of one album, but those are 2 different albums I'm mixing up.
Here's the crazy part is though, you then Legal comes out in what 92. Youngest in Charge was 89, and then 91, 90 or 91 for the next one. Then you put out the next album like 5 years later and still on Profile.
Yeah.
But
Well, I was stuck on Profile. They had froze me up. You know, Profile didn't want to pay nobody. They didn't even want to pay Run DMC.
It's the old school era.
So who the hell who gonna pay me if they ain't gonna pay Run DMC? So anyway, you know, we went through what we went through, and they froze me up, man. I had to sit there and just wait. And when they was ready to do what they had to do, we went through some legal issues too, because they didn't want to pay me. You know what I'm saying? And I was really, I really wanted to take it in another direction, and you know, I had to got the advice of Run and DMC, you know, and Jay, man. R.I.P. to JMJ, man, because he was very motivational. But Run and DMC, they had came by my crib one time, and I told them how I was feeling, and they was like, "Well, look, man, you can't go down to that level, you know, else you're gonna be, you know, the same thing as them." So I kind of, you know, took their advice as the big homies, the OGs, and I kind of just took it the legal route and.
Were you gonna run up in the Profile office?
Man, look, man, I
You
already
had like a bunch of wild.
I had
Jamaicans ready
niggas
to
on
go in
deck
there?
already, man. Like,
Nah, yeah, you can't
look,
do
okay,
that.
you were ready.
You can't do that.
I was young and dumb and wild and free, like now.
I had all types of cousins. And,
Man, look, man.
I mean, you know for a fact he could have got 74 people there on the scooters, on the Honda scooters.
Easy.
Yo, nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
He has 74 people minimum.
Like, I
Minimum.
need everybody to fill up each one of these scooters.
Hey, but they could have did 2 on a scooter.
2 on there.
144 people?
The drive-by facing
144 people right there.
All in the village.
for the Profile record.
Damn.
So then, what did you do for that time after Legal came out?
Oh, well, I was still on the road. I was still doing shows. I'm still doing shows now.
Crazy.
I just did a show Saturday in Connecticut. Shout out to Hamden, Connecticut.
Have you only lived off of rap?
Yeah.
Was there ever a time when you were like, you substitute taught? You literally were like, I need to do some
I
real
did some
shit.
hustle. I'm a hustler. I'm a Jamaican. So
So you always got multiple jobs regardless?
yeah, I do whatever I need to do. If it's somewhere out there and I see I could get some money, if somebody over there say, yo, boom, do this, we get some bread real quick, I'm going to go get this bread and come right back and rap.
So you and the whole time, and you've been rapping the entire time,
Hell
shows throughout
yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I've always heard your name on shows. I think at every point, I'm always hearing about. It's funny though, because like I remember when they started old school shows, where it would be like those throwback shows, like
Right.
it was kind of like late '90s, early 2000s. They would have the shows with the artists from the late '80s.
Right.
Now you realize that it's funny that was even old school then.
Yeah.
Because now what came out in 2000 isn't
When you
considered
look
old.
at it when you look at it on a calendar, you're like, oh, 10 years, that's not that much time. But 10 years is a long time.
To someone younger.
To someone young, yeah, generationally.
Yeah, because when I was younger and we had sample records and it was like, oh, this record's 10 years old. It was like, sample. You know, and that's what they're doing now, because my record is over 20 years old right now. And they sampling, and I'm like, damn, I'm still here. Why you sampling my record?
I'm not
You know what I'm
going.
saying? Right, but, you know, that's what it is.
Did you
to
get
them.
you
It's
get
like
publishing from what samples?
from every.
Which ones have you got publishing from? Rick Ross?
Every.
The Rick Ross one must have been a big one. No?
No. Rick
'Cause he used
Ross.
the
The problem
sample.
with Rick Ross is he didn't use the music. He used the lyrics. And see, that's another thing that was.
Your lyrics.
Yeah.
You can't get publishing for that?
Magnificent with the sensational
Right.
style.
Why can you get that?
Well, let me tell you how it's going down right now.
Please.
Rick.
Did he slip you a Molly?
Oh, without you knowing.
Did he
You
take
ain't
back
even
to the
know.
room?
All right.
All right.
Hey, whoa.
Okay.
Okay,
Don't play that
Tiv,
shit.
she talking bad about your man.
Okay, we gonna nip that shit in the bud
Right now.
Right.
No, there's no
I'll
Molly.
straight no.
Okay. We got it. Yeah, go ahead.
So
what's
what
going
happened?
on?
So what actually happened?
Nah, he the homie. You know, I met him before he came out. He was still with E-Class and all that, and he, you know, yo, Special Ed, you know, I looked up to you as an artist.
Was this
Oh,
when
cool.
you lived in
Yeah,
Florida?
when I was out there. Matter of fact, I'll tell you when I met Ross.
Matter of fact-
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Hold up. Now, we just discovered there's some Miami connection.
Oh no, they were
that's what I
friends.
said.
I know Fox from Miami.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
You missed out on that?
I missed
You
that.
must have been mixing.
Friends in Miami.
Forward, pull up that. All right.
Come on.
I didn't know that part.
Just
Yeah.
It's just interesting. That's always just interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had met him at the video shoot with Wayne and Trina.
Okay.
Were you there too, K Fox?
It
I
was
don't
in
remember.
Hollywood Hard Rock or something.
Oh, at the racetracks?
No, it was in a club at the Hard Rock, and they shot that video with both of them was in it. I forgot.
Okay.
Anyway, that's where I met him and the crew and the whole his Carroll City cartel. But anyway, we've been in touch throughout the years and whatnot. And then when I moved, one of my boys called and was like, "Yo, Ross just did, the Magnificent." Like, word? So I called him up. "Yo, what's up?" He was basically like, "Yo, I was looking for you. Where you at?" I'm like, "Yeah, I moved, man. What's good?" So he said he had the song, and when it's time to do the video, he was gonna shout me. And then he actually sent me a remix to do with it was me, Big Boy, and him on it.
I remember it.
Yeah, the Magnificent remix. I don't think they pushed that anymore at that point. I think they waited a little too long, but we did it. It was hot.
No, it was hot. They just do you have it?
No.
They just like slipped it out there. It was like
No, I didn't even.
But you don't get a check just for it's your words and it's the name of the song.
Yeah, you know what? At some point, I would deal with everything. But at this point right now, I'm chilling.
Well, I'm going to tell you what Marley does. Marley has secret undercover spies. I don't know if they work here or not. But anytime certain people hear any type of Marley Marl beat, sample, or word from one of his records, they call. Marley handles his business, and certain people get a little, you know what I'm saying? A little kickback.
Oh, really? In order for Marley to get his little
right.
Nice.
So
but
Marley has way more records.
Ed that you want to be the spy, and you're
but Marley has
listen out, and you'll call Ed.
Anytime I hear a line, anytime someone says Puerto Rican or scooter or alligator souffle, they gotta pay. They got to pay.
You mentioned souffle. You got to pay.
I told him that the other day.
You mentioned souffle. You got to pay. All right.
Huh? Jay said souffle.
Hey, cut it out.
Hove.
Cut it out.
Hove.
We also didn't mention Crooklyn.
Oh yes.
Crooklyn was big for me because that was my first collaboration. Until then, no one ever called me. No one ever called me to do a record with them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were hating, huh?
Why were they hating?
I don't think they was hating. I think people
didn't do many collabos back then. Maybe
certain goals you just don't really think you can attain because of the level of.
Exactly. So they're like, we're not gonna bother calling special ed.
Yeah. So basically, they called me Q-Tip. I think it was Tip.
Yeah, Tip did it.
Yeah, called me and was like, "Yo, we doing this Crooklyn record with Spike." Whoop, 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 whoop. So I was like, "Hell yeah, that's where I'm from."
But your voice sounds so perfect on it.
Hey, I try to do my thing as always, And Ace and Buckshot did their thing. It was freezing out there shooting that video. I don't know why Spike ain't get an indoor.
What did you think of the? What did you think of the second Crooklyn song?
I think it was cool. I think by that time I was just, so I heard the first one so much. The second one was just kind of a little easier. It was mellow to me, like a more relaxing type.
Yeah, the first one is.
You think the first one better than the second?
Yeah.
The first one kind of.
You like the second one better? Well, you're a premiere nut. I'm a premiere nut too, but
I think I love the first one, and the second one can't exist without the first one because the samples used in it are important to how that song is.
Publishing right there too.
I would think so. I mean, that's blatant. And we represent
movie publishing.
Yeah, but I think as a total song, the second one is.
We disagree.
Well,
we often disagree.
I gotta review it.
We're like 3-4 years off.
Biased. I'm on the first one, so fucking.
No, the first one's listen. I love the first one, and it took me forever to get the vinyl for the first one. I bought the second one when it came out, but I wasn't buying vinyl when the first one came out.
Right.
And it's actually not the easiest record to find.
No, it's
like
kind of
that MCA record with the cover. There's nice cover art too with the three of you on it. It's not the easiest record to find, and I treasure it. But the second one is very special to me too. They're both great. They're both great.
What year was that?
95 was the second one. The first one was from Crooklyn was I think 91, 92.
No,
the first one was like 94. 95.
Yeah.
No, that's when Clockers was. Oh, the first one was 94.
Yeah, it had to be.
94, and the second one's 96. How about 94, 96? That sound right?
That sounds right.
How about, a lot of irrelevant shit, don't you?
That is not irrelevant, excuse me.
Not nice, Special Ed.
Yeah, that was not nice.
Fact finder?
Yes, you're right. God damn it, I do know a lot of irrelevant shit.
So what about, let me ask you something. To me, from what I could gather from history, there was like a couple different cliques from Brooklyn. There's Howie T's clique, which you just mentioned, everybody, Chubb Rock and all of them. Then there was Herbie Lovebug's clique.
They not from Brooklyn, son.
Oh, where are they? Where's Herbie from?
None of them from Brooklyn.
They're from
Queens?
Aren't they from Mount Vernon and over there?
No, not Herbie Lovebug. I thought he was from Brooklyn.
Nah, they from Queens. I'm just messing.
Queens. Okay. Herbie was from Queens?
Yeah.
Oh, he's Haitian, so I just assumed he was from. So Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper.
Yo, not every Haitian is from.
I thought they lived all in Brooklyn.
That's racist. Don't you got a racist segment?
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
racist.
That's racist. And then okay, so what else? There's
that
even
was
that
the
era
Queens
though.
clique,
Like,
yeah.
were you cool with Kid and Play and Salt and Pepper?
I was
now?
cool with everybody.
Like, you would do shows with all these type of
I
people
did
back
shows
then, right?
with Salt and Pepper, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, MC Light, Queen Latifah. Who? Everybody. Biz Markie.
Now, what about like you're on top of the game? Did you start seeing like Big creep into the scene?
I seen everybody creep into the scene. I seen a lot of people come and go.
Yeah, a lot of people did come and go.
You know, I seen them as well since I came. Since '88, you know, I've been watching the game. I'm a student in the game as well, so I've been seeing everybody come and go. And I see what it is, man. There is consistency, but this market will chew you up, man. These fans will like chew you up and spit you out
quickly
at a moment's notice. You know
that's the one thing I really hate about hip hop is how disposable people treat.
Right, there's no progression.
Yeah, like I know, I do a lot of my improv comedy where it's like a lot of white kids, and you can't talk bad about the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Black Sabbath. Like, they hold their old school like to heart, you know.
It's true in almost everything.
And
it's
then
like
hip hop
only
is just
hip-hop.
like, that's some old shit.
Like no one.
Yeah, it's great music though.
No one says a Woody Allen movie is old shit.
Right.
It's a classic.
Right.
And no one says when he puts out new movies, there are some people who don't fuck with him as much, but they still get nominated for stuff. They still get
Right.
treated.
So why is hip hop so treated like shit?
I know there's only like 3 artists who get the pass to be old. Everyone else has to just stop making music and just play their old hits, and that's it. You can't grow anymore. It makes no sense.
Right, and every artist kind of has his, era to shine, time to shine, Every artist has their popularity moment, then another artist comes, and then another one comes, and another. You can come back out and do it again, but
it's lesser. It's like inherently lesser.
Right.
Like no one tells the Rolling Stones to step aside so someone else can get on.
Never.
And guess what? If they're doing a show, they're headlining. It doesn't matter.
packed.
And it's packed and they're headlining.
Right.
And you're opening. Even if you're the big current act, you're opening for them. That's not really...
Yeah, there's no progression. There's no, loyalty there. It's just like here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, like I used to listen to that CD all the time, but now I don't. And that's the whack part but that's the thing. A lot of fans don't. This is always my thing about me and hip hop, and why I always was like, when I was like getting into my like trying to feel like I belonged or something. One of the things that bothered me about other white kids that I knew is I found a lot of people were really phasey about it. When they were in high school and in their early 20s, they liked hip hop. And then they got older and they sort of retreated back to like, oh, I was into hip hop, but now, now they get a white wife, obviously, and their white friends, their white job, and all of a sudden they like pushed it aside. And we're like, oh no, I used to love that stuff.
No, but
like,
the sound of hip hop changes throughout the years.
But all music
hip-hop today
does
not sound like hip hop back in
and nor does rock today sound like 60s and 70s rock at all. It's a far cry. But people don't abandon it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll still proudly listen to it. White people?
Who, white people?
Yeah.
It's been spoken, ladies and gentlemen. K Fox has declared
that's racist.
white people are flip-floppers.
When I say white people, I mean Rosenberg.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I'll take it on the chin. Pause.
Okay.
But it's true. And I don't understand also why it also then seems dated and like you're old if you listen to old school music. Someone pulls up and you listen to something 87, they're like, damn, son, you listen to 87?
There is this crazy resurgence of like older hip hop now with like, let's say ASAP Rocky. Like his name is Rakim. He's named after Rakim. Rocky is his nickname because his real legal name is Rakim. Joey Badass is like, shouts out a lot of old school stuff and sounds.
What about the kid Astro? Doesn't he have that song that sounds like straight 90s?
Yeah, no, there's definitely what's happening in my opinion is that kids who are literally 17, 18 years old whose parents are in their early 40s, those kids have only grown up knowing mainstream hip-hop to be primarily, not always, primarily shit. So they grew up with that. Their whole childhood, from 10 to 18, it was all just
I think it depends
lot
on the
of shit.
parents. The other day, my nephew 16.
No, but I don't mean the parents were listening to it. I mean on the radio. Meanwhile, their parents were listening to good shit.
Right?
Yeah,
So
but
they're
the
like,
parents have to educate the kids to what the good shit is. So, for example, my nephew puts in his iPod Touch into my car. He puts on The Roots, you know, Q-Tip, Biggie. I'm like, where you learn this from? His dad's a DJ. You know what I mean? So you have to educate these kids.
Exactly right. So, but these kids now, they're like, wait, the radio plays only bullshit. But this, I'll be honest, the shit my parents listen to, that shit's actually pretty good. I'm gonna start making shit like that. And now I think the result is this whole Brooklyn Collective and all this New York shit, and even Odd Future to an extent, and all this young movement, I think is all based on their generation that they grew up on. It was kind of whack, but the shit their parents grew up on was hot. Same reason all the rappers who are from our generation, all their influence was all that heavy 60s and 70s shit that their parents loved.
You have kids?
Yeah, I have 3 kids.
So then how do you educate them about music and what you do and the legacy and
Well,
Tiff heard that? He got 3 kids. She heard that? Okay.
Cypher just being fair.
My 2 boys are 7 and 12, and I don't let them just listen to anything. I monitor what they listen to, and they're not really heavy into rap. They'll listen to music, R&B. They'll listen to pop. They'll listen to Disney Channel, whatever comes on, like, you know, them little songs, them little happy songs.
So they haven't even gotten into their music phase yet, though.
Nah.
Well, the older one at 12, he's kind of into his
It's about to
music
start
phase.
getting into
Yeah.
it. That 13, 14 is like.
Right. And then my daughter, she's 18, so she listens to whatever she want to listen to.
Does she listen to anything good?
Yeah.
She doesn't like just crap.
Nah, and she doesn't like just rap. She listens to all
kinds of music.
Right.
Do you ever hear them like? Is there ever a time where she was in a phase of listening to rap that you were just like, sweetheart, this song right here is garbage?
Well, yeah, I tell her when I'm riding with her in the car and we listening to some garbage, I'll tell her this is garbage.
This is garbage. Right?
But then I go on YouTube on my phone, you know, hook it up, and I'll play some. Like if I hear something, I'll play the original.
Right.
I'll be like, this is where they got it from. And like the other day, they got this new Janet Jackson song. Kendrick Lamar, I think,
the
did it.
Poetic Justice.
Yeah, Poetic
Sample,
Justice.
yeah.
So we was listening to it, and my little son in the back, you could hear him whining, trying to sing a little. So I'm like, all right, well, let me let y'all hear something. And I put on the original Janet Jackson
Anytime,
record.
any place.
Right, that's my shit. So
Thanks, Fox.
I'm playing
Well,
that.
of course it is Special Ed.
And then they,
He's like, that's my song.
that's my
When
shit.
Ed's in mid-conversation, if he does snaps, it starts playing just wherever he's
Yeah,
at.
that shit is in my iPod right now. I just say a few keywords and my shit is playing Bluetooth out.
So you do.
So what about your daughter when she heard Hove shout you on that Empire State?
Yeah, what about that? They bug out for
Yeah,
that?
she told me, you know, everybody that has heard it will basically tell me, you know, sometimes people call me like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning in the club drunk. Yo, I just heard your shit. Yo, they playing your shit. You listen. listen to this. Yo, I can't hear it. What the fuck is going on? Yo, they playing your shit.
That's not my shit, man. That's a Jay-Z song. Nice shout out, but leave me alone.
Yeah.
No, but they might be playing one of your songs too, right?
Yeah, no, that's what they do. They call me when they in the club.
the
I get
mission.
calls for everything.
Hold on.
I get calls for
that's
everything.
my man.
Right.
Yo.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. But it is crazy that you got shouted on a record that is an international smash. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I'm grateful for that, man. And I just like to say once again that shows that, you know, real recognized, real, and the man, you know, is not too proud or to admit or to say what it really is or what it is.
Do you
Give
remember?
props to another man.
Do you remember shooting Juice?
Yeah,
Juice. Yes.
clearly.
What was that like? What was the Juice experience like? I mean, they were like, "Hey, we just want you to come in and play a rich douchebag."
No, in Juice, actually, I didn't have a role. I read for, I think they gave my role to the other curly head kid.
Right.
Of
Like
course
one?
they did.
Yeah, so that's
Damn.
the part I read for.
Hold up, man.
Yeah, but then they would have been taking my baby moms, which wouldn't have worked out. So
Even in the movie.
in the movie, right.
In the movie,
Hold on, hold on.
And I'm not gonna let because in the movie I took Raheem baby mom, so that would have been me on the other
Yeah, we want to
end.
offer you a starring role, one of the major characters. Hold up. Some other dude
Well,
picked up his baby mom.
Mr. Ed, we just want to explain. You're in a relationship with a woman who takes a relationship with another man. Wait.
Hold up, nah.
Are we
Chill,
together?
chill.
It's just a character, sir. It's not in real life.
Hold on, and Duke shoots me. Nah.
I mean, hold on.
Wait, hold on.
Get the baby powder. What the fuck?
this
What
is
y'all
fucking
think
crazy.
this is? Yeah.
So they decided to just throw you in.
No. I was chilling. I went up on the set to check Pac. Me and Pac was cool. We was friends. Did some production work with him as well on 2 of his albums. So, you know,
It's interesting. So we'll get there.
yeah. I read for the part, didn't get it, and then Pac told me he got a part in the movie, and I was like, yo, I read for that movie. So when they were shooting, he was like, yo, we uptown, whoop, come through. So I went uptown, chill with him. I was like, yeah, man, I read for this shit, man. And they use this other curly head nigga over here. So Pac was like, oh, word? So, you know, Pac got that light went off in his head. He was like, I'll be right back. Pac goes to the little brothers, whoever that was shooting. Pac come back in the room. Yo, we got you a part, man. We got you a cameo. So I go out there, yeah, like that.
That's
so
a
I
good
go,
friend, man.
yeah. So I go out there
Pac
now, and
is
I'm like,
crazy.
yeah, hell yeah, that's what's up. So I go out there, and they had like a hard top Wrangler with no top.
We were discussing
on it.
this yesterday. Which car it was? White,
Di-
right?
Dice in the mirror, some shit, fuzzy steering wheel. I was like, hell no, I ain't using that shit. I mean, I appreciate the cameo, but I ain't gonna look like no.
Yo, Ed, you are a wild boy.
So I got my car.
What was your car?
The red Passat with the Funsa rims.
Okay.
So I got the crackhead to wipe it up, and they was like, okay, yeah, we could throw the crackhead in too. Oh, that's cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
use the crackhead as a prop.
right, the crackhead was a prop.
So you hooked him up too. He got
I think he got a jump or something like that for his debut. You know what I'm saying?
A what?
Oh, jump.
a
That's
vial of
old
crack.
school crack talk.
Vial of crack cocaine.
Jump,
Rim
yeah.
to
A
snort or
jumbo,
smoke.
short for jumbo.
It's the jumbo. Nice
Yeah.
vial. Nice.
Slow down, Brand Nubian, smoking jums.
Oh,
Right.
smoke jums. So what they knocking for? Oh, man.
Right,
I'm learning
right.
a lot
Those
today.
jokes, well, yeah.
This is a lot coming up.
So,
You
so
got your car. They use your car.
The
Yeah.
crackhead.
You got to use your crackhead.
Right.
And
But I couldn't use none of my chicks. They had to use.
the actress.
Yeah,
You wanted
well,
to use your own
yeah.
chick too.
yeah,
I mean, I would have preferred to, but they
You were
had
like,
it
"What do you
all-
want? I got varieties."
They
Just
had it
tell me
all
what you want.
They had it casted, you know. so-
whose role was that? Whose role did you
Oh,
take?
someone got knocked.
Oh, I don't care.
Whose role did you
Shit,
take?
I don't know, but yeah.
Brooklyn.
Because that guy
What?
is working a job right now. Like, I hate special.
That
one
was
day.
me.
One day.
Pac was like, "Hey, you out." So wait, then how did you end up working? And then how did the production thing with Pac happen?
Well, we was always cool. We were introduced to a mutual friend, young lady, and
Doo-doo.
Was it Jada?
Oh.
no. Right. But we became cool. We hung out, you know, on the road a little bit because I used to just when I wasn't on tour, I go hang out with
Other people's stores.
Yeah, just
I'm
chill.
going.
Yeah, so we was hanging.
That's
out.
great.
And ended up that he said he was getting ready to record, and I was like, oh, word? Well, you know, I produce because I started producing in 1990. The first check I got, I bought equipment, reinvested into my business.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Did you ever get a big credit for production
yeah, I got credit on that. I got plaques. I got the checks.
from what albums?
Are you still down?
Oh, for Pac's albums
Niggas-
specifically.
Yeah. What was it? Niggas for life.
The NIGGAZ. Yeah, what was that?
Strictly for my.
Strictly for
Yeah,
my
Strictly
niggas.
for my
Yeah,
niggas.
yeah. That's good.
So you started. So you got equipment. You started learning.
Yep, and then started producing, and I started to teach other my homies how to produce, so that they could do it too. I started a production company, started a studio in Brooklyn, the Dollar Cab Lab.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Utica
The dope
Avenue.
name.
Did anyone else get nice who was under your tutelage?
Yeah, a lot of them. My DJ Action was crazy with it. You know, my man Big I did some tracks. My man Law, my brother Drew, he was really good with it. And that was actually by the studio time. That was probably the second or third setup that I had purchased. You know, the first one I gave to my other brother, and you know, I had upgraded by the time.
Anybody
I
that was
started
under
the
your
studio.
camp that like popped off, like big with production?
Popped off with me and Act. We did it together. Whatever they did with me was a
Both of
joint
you.
effort. Yeah.
Nice.
And do you
Make it style.
go to Pac's funeral?
No, I wasn't able to make it. I'm not really a funeral or paparazzi type of dude. If y'all notice, y'all don't see me in the middle of shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
So you just weren't feeling it.
I mean, I don't do the whole. If it was something more private, perhaps, but I don't do the whole
Same way, I feel you.
public thing. Like a Biggie, I didn't attend his service either because it was just too publicized. And I'm not, you know, I'm not in it to get a look. You know, I'm not in it for the photo ops. You know, I lost real people, real friends, and you know the same thing with other people that I've lost. Like some of them, unfortunately, I couldn't attend.
Even people who weren't famous, you just couldn't deal with the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In most cases, I don't like to deal with that sometime, man. I'd rather see them, you know, up and
I'm
about.
the same way. I didn't. My godmother just passed away recently, and I wouldn't look at her in the coffin. I stayed outside.
Well, I don't want to make you feel bad, but I had a dream, and she came to me, and she said, "Tell Cipha to go fuck himself."
Really?
Yes. I don't want to make you feel
some West Coast music.
She was like,
she wrote on you?
California love, and she wrote by and she was like, "Fuck Cipha." And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Not looking at my casket." What? I'm just gotta scare him.
Bitch ass nigga. Bitch ass motherfucker.